view was that there is going to be 5 times more mobile phone users by 2000. So 50 million. And the real figure was 700 million. And this year we are passing 5 billion. So we have 5 billion mobile phone users in the world, more or less. And one of my friends who is living in, or actually he's born in, like we call it, very low-end phone owned by poorest of poor Bangladeshi people. The computing capacity is comparable with the computing capacity of the moon landing module. It was called Eagle. That Eagle had roughly the same capacity, computing capacity. This is a revolution, but it has been a great social story. Billions of people have been connected. First time in the history. And secondly, it has been good environmental story. Instead of 800 grams, the typical phone is now 50 to 80 grams. Price level is very, very low. With $15, $20 you are able to have a mobile device. And in that sense, we can say so that this has been good environmental, economic, and social revolution. But this is only the beginning. We are now facing or moving to the next phase, which is probably going to have even more radical impact in the people's lives. And I would like to call it empowerment of people. When these Bangladeshis really start to take full use of those devices and this computing capacity, we are in the beginning of that process. And my advice for you here is that, in this respect, the very same is repeated what happened with mobile technologies. The Club of Rome predicted in the beginning of the 1970s that Indians and Chinese will never be connected. Do you know why? Because of lack of copper. They said that there is not enough copper to yeah. But what happened? The Chinese and Indians were able to leapfrog and able to take into the use most modern technology, and that's why that kind of revolution was able to happen at least to and worldwide as well. Now the question is, what kind of and let's say in the same way, I believe that there is a great opportunity for leapfrogging for all countries. I told about this South African case, how we had tested education or training of mathematics by mobile devices. You can do it in South Africa. You can do it in the US. You can do it in China. You can do it in whatsoever country in the world, which is interested to take that path and to make investments in that. So in that sense, this is going to be a democratic process. The question is, who is ready and able to make the right kind of calls? What is the right kind of call? It's about the ecosystem. Technology is there. It's going to improve every day so that we are getting more and more sophisticated products. But it's not anymore critical. There is more technology available than capacity to use that. And we have consumers who have needs. So potential is there, needs are there, but why this is not going to be big business in India? Because of the fact that ecosystems are rather low. And business alone is not able to do that. Consumers alone are not able to do that. We need governments to be involved, to be able to have smart regulation, to have some infrastructure investment and ecosystem creation in a way that we can take maximum use of these devices. Now we are using these most modern devices, we are using these more or less for entertainment or participation, which are both very good purposes. But for societies, much more impact is coming and benefits are coming when we are moving fast enough, I hope, to those services which are benefiting really consumers and societies. And I mean financial services, education, and when looking at challenges in Arab world, how to educate people, how to get entrepreneurs, It's up to you how to take use of that. And that's why my last message is, don't look that much manufacturing capacities. Manufacturing mobile devices or information technology generally is not a big business. It's good business for those who are there, but market is more or less separated. Highest added value is now coming from services and solutions. I try to call them solutions. And if you want to be very optimistic, I believe that you have great assets on the table. The question is, are you ready and interested to take them and to use them? And it's financial challenge in certain respect, but much more is intellectual challenge. That's my 5-minute message.
Thank you, Sam. Ms. Eriksson?
It's a hard act to follow, but I would like to, before I build on that a little bit, just go back to the question you started with, which was what areas are we seeing pioneering in from this region, and how is that competing in the world market? But I think there are good examples, like in the green tech area, we are seeing Mubadala and some companies like that, but they're usually partnerships with global entrepreneurs or global companies. So there isn't really one big entity or company that I wanted to point out. There's a number of smaller ISVs, independent software firms, but they aren't really marketed or funded. But I think this is the linkage back to the previous comment, because I think the race is no longer, innovation isn't necessarily about invention. It's more about deploying what's already invented in new and more compacted ways. We see the convergence between industries. So that's why I think the linkage and the answer to the question is so close. Because this region has been very good at deploying what's invented. And I think it has a very strong competitive advantage in the infrastructure, reliable electricity, communication, etc. The world's largest electricity consumer today is a company you all use. It's Google. You might not love to put it on the front page, but it's a fact. The server farms depend on electricity and the reliability of the electricity. Now, I think in order to build the content, if we look at the digital economy as the next level, if we look at content and ability to provide service, be it banking, starting with microbanking or even healthcare, then I believe one key area is going to be local skills and the balance between bringing in the skills for driving the innovation versus being able to bring up the skills. If we look at the internet today, about 1% is local content. Now, this is a big potential in this region to provide more content, local content. And we can see that there is innovation in it. The reason why we see that is that with the social media analytics that we are doing and the Arabicization of that, we can see there is a difference. And there is innovative deployment, innovative use in that. So I think if we can look at the local skills, that's going to be a good opportunity. The other is around local content. And I touched on the 1%, but the strength here is the common language, the 90% building on the common language for Arab. And I think that could bring a very strong innovation platform. So I'm going to give you some very